Hey everyone! Sorry that I've missed the last couple weeks um, posting my Monday video because it's just been a crazy couple of weeks. And it's been a lot of doctor's appointments and things like that. But um, I'm super excited because I actually have another story that I'm working on. So what went down was that I was really struggling with writing the Peter Pan retelling that I was working on. Very much. It was just not coming to me the way that I would like to. You know how, like, sometimes, at least for me, sometimes when I'm writing, it's like every sentence is a struggle and every paragraph to finish it is a struggle. And it's kind of like you're pushing a boulder uphill sometimes when you're writing, and it feels like it should not be this difficult to write this. That's what I was experiencing with Hook. And it was kind of heartbreaking for me because I really have always wanted to do a Peter Pan retelling. But sometimes I think when the story is just so difficult to write that every word is a struggle to get through, then sometimes I think it's time to put that story aside and maybe give that story a break. At least I have found. Because it tends to be that if I'm struggling too much writing every sentence of a story, then it tends to be that, like, what I have written is not up to par with what I think it should be, or with other things that I've written. So it's like, even though I fought through it and I wrote it anyway, what I ended up writing was not what I wanted it to be in the end. So I made the decision, and it was a tough decision, to set aside the Peter Pan retelling, which was, at the time that I did it, very sad and very disappointing. But the good thing about not struggling with that story anymore, the good thing about letting that go, at least for the time being, is it opened up a lot of space in my brain for other things to come in and other things to go down. And it opened up a lot of space for me to have room in my mind for other stories to come in, because I was not focused on this one story that I was really struggling with. So, in that sense, it was a good thing to do, because I did get another story idea. It is another retelling of another story that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do a Red Riding Hood, a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. Always wanted to do it. My favorite animal in the world are wolves. Love wolves. Always have. Since I was little tiny, wolves have kind of been like my go-to animal. Love them. And so Little Red Riding Hood has always kind of held a special place for me, because I was like, he wasn't that bad. The wolf wasn't that bad. And of course, redeeming villains is kind of what I do. So, and of course, it being a wolf, I was already like, no, he's not a bad guy. I've decided he's not bad. And so I've started a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. I don't have a title for it yet, but it's about this young girl. She's 19 or 20 years old. She's very young, but an adult by standards of this village. And her name is Liliana Hoffman, and she is an orphan, and she lives with her grandmother. So if you can kind of see where this is going. So she lives with her grandmother, and there's this very uneasy sort of truce, kind of, between this village that I'm calling Blackthorn Village. Very uneasy truth between her and her grandmother and this village, because her grandmother is a practicing herbalist and considered by many in the village to be a witch. So there's this very uneasy kind of truce between her family and the village that she lives in, the people of Blackthorn Village, because on the one hand, her grandmother and her, because her grandmother taught her, very gifted in remedies and poultices and potions and being able to help people with their sicknesses or maladies or chronic illnesses. And she can provide that to this village, and she does, her grandmother. But at the same time, her grandmother is considered a witch in this village, and they are kind of like, it's kind of the situation where as long as you help us, we won't hang you, as long as you are helping us. But the minute that you stop being useful to us is the minute that this village is going to turn against you. So Liliana has grown up in this kind of tension-filled sort of hand-to-mouth existence where it can go one way or the other. As long as her grandmother is useful and she is useful to the village, they can stay there and they will stay safe. But the minute that they put the wrong foot forward, or they do not deliver on what this village expects them to do, or something goes wrong and somebody gets sick that they cannot save, okay, so now they're in real danger of being murdered, which was the fate of a lot of witches. And the other part of the story is that the reason that Liliana is an orphan is when she was a child, when she was about a month old, her parents were murdered, killed, eaten by this big wolf that was plaguing this village. And the village burned that wolf, killed that wolf. And now there's another wolf come. So it's been about 19 years since they had a wolf problem, and now there's this other wolf that is plaguing this village, killing livestock, destroying crops, making it very difficult for these people to make a living, and especially in this rural area where they depend a lot on their crops. And so but what comes to pass is that this wolf ends up being her greatest ally and her greatest friend. And the problem is that this wolf is kind of a shapeshifter. During the day, he is a wolf and he is trapped in the form of a wolf, and at night he turns into a man. So, there's this whole question of why they can communicate with each other, because they can communicate with one another telepathically and across great distances. So, the problem being that what we are going to find out, which I have not written this part yet, but I already know what's going to happen, is that everybody in this village that she has lived in all of her life, and all of these people that she considers her friends, including her grandmother, they've all been lying to her in one way or another. So they all, each and every one of them, have a secret that they have not told her and that she is not aware of. So it's this great big secret in this village that she does not know about, that Liliana doesn't know about. So, but the wolf does. The wolf knows this secret truth that nobody else has shared with her. So it's kind of this place that she finds herself where does she trust the people that she's known all her life that have been lying to her all of her life, or does she trust this wolf who's done devastating things to this village but is telling her the truth of and what nobody else would tell her? So that's kind of the gist of the story of what it's going to be about. It's going to be a retelling of Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, and it's going to be in the vein of a dark fantasy romance kind of retelling. And I'm very excited about it because it's one of the ones that I've always wanted to do. So I had this list way back when I was a kid that there were certain retellings that I really, really wanted to do. And I've been trying to make my way down this list of retellings that I wanted to have happen. And it was Hades and Persephone, which I've completed, which I've done. Boom, there it is, finished. So I was very excited to do that. That's one of the ones that I've always wanted to do. It was Hades and Persephone, Beauty and the Beast, Peter Pan, Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, and Snow White were the 6 retellings that I really wanted to get done. And I really wanted to do those. So that's my dogs howling. You can't leave them alone for 2 seconds because they're like little furry toddlers. But those are the 6 that I've always wanted to do. And I've done one of them, so I'm very excited about that. And I thought that Peter Pan would be the next one that I was able to accomplish on this list of ones that I wanted to do. But it just wasn't happening. But I am very excited for this Little Red Riding Hood retelling. I think that it's going to be good, and it's coming so easily to me. The writing is very simple for me to do and sit down and get done. And once I sit down and put pen to paper, it's very it's just flowing really easily, which is a very nice change. I'm very excited about it, and at the same time a little bit concerned about how people might take the redemption of this villain. He's a little darker than other villains that I've done, and he's a little more morally gray, I guess you could say, than other heroes / villains that I've done in other stories. So I hope that it's accepted well when I finish it, but we'll see. So that's my writing update for the day, for the week. Let's see, what am I reading today? I'm gonna have to show you my phone. Told you I liked wolves. See, this is my phone case. But I'll show you my phone because I'm actually doing an ARC right now. And if you don't know what an ARC is, it's an advanced reader copy. and it's a copy of a book that you receive from a writer, from an author, before that book's actually released to the public. And so you get to read it before the public gets to read it. And you can give tips and you can give critiques and you can give reviews on different websites like Amazon or Barnes and Noble or Book Hub or wherever you want to give reviews after you finish the book, so that the book can come out and have a beginning of reviews already. Because writers and authors, they really live and die by reviews a lot of times. So I'm very excited to read this author's book, which I'm about 5 chapters into it. So it's called The Third Veil. And it's by Heather Carter. And she is a great author. I love reading her books. I've read another one of her books. One of the reasons I was excited to get this one was because I had read this book. This is called Of Songs and Saltwater, and it's also by Heather Carter. And this cover is beautiful. I read this last year, and this is a retelling of, it's kind of a retelling in a different vein of The Little Mermaid, where actually the male protagonist is the sea creature and the female or heroine is the human. So it's very well written. I think I read this one in like 3 days. I finished this one. And then my daughter took it from me and she had it open. She read it and then she didn't give it back to me for like a month. So I was very excited to get an opportunity to ARC for Heather Carter with The Third Veil. And so far, it's very, very good. It starts out really kind of tragically, but I'm still, there are things going on in this book that I'm very intrigued to see what happens with this heroine that she has. I can't say too much about it because it's not released to the public yet, but it's really, so far, it's very, very good, and I'm definitely gonna buy a paperback when it comes out. I haven't finished it yet, but that is what I'm reading this week. And then next week, after I finish this one, hopefully in the week, because I'm a very slow reader, but next week I have another ARC that I'm going to do, which is, it's part of a larger series that I've been following for years. So I'm very excited to start that ARC as well. So let me know what you think of another Red Riding Hood retelling hitting the market, maybe. Are there too many fairy tale retellings, or is there room for one more, maybe? Some people have asked also to see my bookshelf, which you can see is over there. That's part of it anyway. And to kind of see what's in my bookshelf, seeing what kind of books I have. So if you'd like to see me do a video of just like what's in my bookshelves, that's 2 of the 3 bookshelves I have. If you want to see what's in my bookshelves, let me know, and I might do another video of like a tour of my bookshelves. So that's it for the week, though. Bye.